I always hated how my son treated his toys. Now, I am one. The first thing I heard was the sound of a face being scraped off that god-awful errand of cheap plastic on stone patio. It's the soundtrack to my special little slice of hell, this Airbnb in the middle of nowhere that was supposed to fix us. My son, Jet, was the one conducting the orchestra. His little sister's doll was his instrument. "Jet, for puck's sake, stop that!" I yelled from the porch chair. He just laughed, a high, sharp sound that drills right into the base of my skull. Across the patio, my daughter, Cora, was wailing, her face screwed up and blotchy. She was screaming at me to do something, as if I'm the arbiter of all justice in this crumbling family. I hauled myself out of the chair, my knees cracking. 7 years. 7 years of this. Crying and screaming and cleaning up messes. I thought a kid would give my life some kind of meaning. Instead, it just painted the walls of my cage. I finally reached Jet and had to wrench the doll from his grip. His fingers were surprisingly strong, clamped down tight. When I looked at the doll, its face was gone. Just a smear of melted plastic where the cheerful, painted-on smile used to be. One eye socket was a hollowed-out pit. The other was a jagged mess. The blonde hair was a matted, tangled bird's nest. I looked up and Jet was beaming at me, so fucking proud of his handiwork. Cora ran over and clutched my leg, demanding her toy back. I handed it to her. Her face crumpled as she took in the damage. The shrieking started all over again. "How's it going out here?" my wife Paloma asked, poking her head out the sliding glass door an hour later. "Peachy!" The kids were finally quiet. Jet was zoned out in front of the TV. Cora was upstairs with her collection of unmutilated dolls. It's amazing how fast they bounce back. But it sticks with me. It all just sticks to me. Like tar. This whole trip was my therapist's idea. Get away. Connect. All it's done is magnify the bars. I used to love Paloma, I think. But somewhere between the diapers and the tantrums, I started to see her as just another part of the noise. And she knows it. I made sure of that. "Hey, Alaric," she said, her voice dropping. "Did you see that thing in the upstairs bedroom? The empty one?" "What thing?" I didn't look at her. The old rocking horse. In the corner. "Yeah, so, I don't know. I feel crazy saying this. But when I walked by earlier, I swear its eyes followed me. I finally turned to look at her. Jesus. Always something with her. A headache is a brain tumor. A weird sound in the night is a ghost. Now the fucking furniture is stalking her. Paloma. It's a piece of wood with painted-on eyes. It didn't follow you. Her face did that thing. That wounded puppy thing that used to make my heart ache and now just make my heart ache and now just makes my teeth grind. Just go look at it. Please." I didn't answer. I just got up and pushed past her, heading for the stairs. It was always my job to go debunk the monster under the bed. My job to make her feel sane. After I planned this whole fucking trip for them. For us. As I started up the creaking staircase, she called out, soft and desperate. "I love you, Alaric. We can get through this." I kept walking. The hallway upstairs was dim, a single window at the far end letting in the dying afternoon light. I glanced into Cora's room. She was sitting on the floor, humming to herself as she arranged her dolls in a little circle. I walked past to the closed door of the empty room at the end of the hall. I pushed it open. The room smelled like dust and forgotten things. An old metal bed frame stood against one wall, no mattress. And there, in the corner, was the rocking horse. It was old, the paint faded and chipped. One of its glass eyes was missing. The other one, a black marble, seemed to suck in all the light in the room. It was just a toy. A creepy old toy. I walked over to it, my footsteps echoing in the silence. I put a hand on its wooden head, feeling the splintered rough surface. What a piece of junk. My muscles seized. I felt a pop in my spine, then another in my legs, a wet snapping sound as my bones twisted, shortened, reformed. My skin tightened, pulled taut until it felt like it was about to split, then hardened over, smooth and cold. My last coherent thought was a simple, stupid one. This can't be happening. When I came to, I was on the floorboards, staring up at the dusty underside of the bed frame. The world was enormous. The dust bunnies were the size of small animals. I tried to move, to scream, but nothing happened. I was a prisoner in my own body. A hard plastic body. Panic, cold and sharp, flooded the silent spaces of my mind. How long was I lying there? An hour? A day? Then I heard footsteps on the stairs. They boomed like a giant was approaching. The floorboards above me groaned. "Mommy can't find him!" It was Cora's voice, an echoing cannon blast. "She wants me to look up here." The door creaked open. Two colossal pink sneakers appeared in my field of vision. She was right in front of me. She bent down, her face a pale moon eclipsing the world. Her eyes widened. "Mommy!" she shrieked, her voice filled with a terrible, misplaced joy. "I found a new dolly. He looks like Daddy." Her hand, massive and clumsy, wrapped around my torso and lifted me into the air. The world spun. I was weightless, helpless. I tried to yell her name, but all I could manage was a silent, internal scream. She carried me into her room and plopped me down in her dollhouse, my rigid legs sticking straight out. I watched, horrified, as her giant blue eye peered in at me through the tiny window. Then came the thunder. Thump, 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 thump up the stairs. Jet. He burst into the room, and before Cora could even protest, his hand shot into the dollhouse and grabbed me. His grip was a vice, crushing the air from my non-existent lungs. Cora started to cry, a distant, muffled sound as he ran with me back down the stairs. The back door slid open. The cool evening air hit me. Jet stopped on the stone patio, a few feet from the house. Through the cage of his fingers, I could see Paloma and Cora standing in the doorway, silhouetted against the kitchen light. He started to laugh, that same high, sharp laugh from before. Then he slammed his hand down. My face hit the concrete. This wasn't plastic. I felt the scrape, the raw, tearing agony as he started to grind. He was dragging my head across the coarse, unmoving ground. It hurt. Oh God, it hurt. It wasn't plastic peeling away. It was my skin, my flesh. Little wet chunks of me getting left behind on the stone. The world was a blur of gray and unimaginable pain. Soon the pain gave way to a wet, spreading darkness as he reached my eyes. The grinding stopped. He lifted me up. The last thing I heard was Cora's voice, small and curious, drifting across the patio. "Mommy, look! He's leaking jam."